Imagine taking a simple bathroom break on a flight and having it turn into a life-altering event. That's exactly what happened to one woman who narrowly escaped death thanks to a well-timed trip to the lavatory. As she was about to return to her seat, the plane suddenly started shaking violently. In an instant, she was thrown into the air due to the sudden loss of gravity. When she regained consciousness, she found herself surrounded by chaos and debris. Trapped inside the bathroom, the woman struggled to open the door, eventually forcing it open with her foot. What she saw next left her utterly shocked. A vast expanse of snow and ice stretched out before her. It quickly became clear that the plane had crashed into a snowy mountain during the flight. After a frantic search, the woman discovered her family members, but to her horror, they were already frozen solid. Desperate to retrieve their bodies from the snow, she started digging. Just then, a man emerged from the wreckage, and they realized they were the only two survivors. With no choice but to rely on each other, they gathered whatever supplies they could find and set out to find a way off the mountain. Before long, they reached the edge of the snow-covered peaks, realizing it was their only path to safety. Despite her crippling fear of heights, the woman had no choice but to follow the man as they carefully made their way down the treacherous cliffs. At one point, she nearly fell to her death after losing her footing, but the man managed to grab her just in time. After an arduous descent, they reached a midway point on the mountain, only to find that the cliffs here were 10 times more challenging than those above. Paralyzed by fear, the woman could barely move, forcing them to inch along narrow ledges on the cliffside. Just when it seemed like they had run out of options, the man had a sudden burst of inspiration. Without hesitation, he leaped off the cliff, miraculously landing in the branches of a tree below. Cushioned by the tree, he survived the fall and called out to the woman, urging her to follow his lead. Terrified but determined to live, she finally mustered the courage to jump, landing directly on top of the man and knocking him to the ground. As he got up, he realized his phone had been smashed in the fall, rendering it useless even if they could find a signal. Discarding the broken device, they pressed on, soon finding themselves at the base of another snowy peak. As they trudged forward, the man spotted a cave up ahead, a perfect shelter from the frigid cold. Calling out to the woman, who was now lagging behind from exhaustion, he urged her to hurry, but just as he was about to go back and help her, he witnessed a terrifying scene unfolding before his eyes. Without a moment to lose, he began shouting desperately to warn her of the impending danger.